Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. In the divine presence of Bhagavan Swaminarayan, in the equally divine presence of my Guru Hari, Pramukh Swami Maharaj, Guru Hari Mahan Swami Maharaj, in the most revered presence of His Holiness Shri Shri Ravi Shankar Ji, whom I respect very deeply, and in the deep spiritual presence of all the galaxy of spiritual leaders who are present here, all of them who are much wiser than me and far, far more experienced than I could ever be. In the most honorable presence of Shri Nitin Gadkari Ji and all the people present on the dais, but in the most august presence of all of you who have been sitting here for more than 3 hours, because the problem with religion is it does not have a sense of time. But I also want to tell you that on a personal note, I had never ever met Vijay Dardaji. But he has a habit of never taking a no. That's the problem of his DNA. I am here because of his love, which reached out to each one of us. I think each one of us on stage has a personal story about him. So on behalf of all of us, we thank you, Vijay Ji, your brother Rajendra Ji, and your entire family for bringing such a galaxy of spiritual leaders on same stage and more likely on the same page. Page is more important than the stage. And we are all on the same page. For the last maybe 2-3 hours, we have been discussing and focusing on finding a solution for communal harmony. Now I want to ask you that personally I believe, because I do not want to share ideas from the scriptures or any other place, I want to share 3 examples that I've experienced. And I want to leave you behind with just 3 words. So I personally believe that the way to find a solution or an answer is having the courage to ask the right questions. Most of the time, we do not ask the right questions. Perhaps this imaginary conversation between a theist and an atheist, a believer and a non-believer, a faithful and a non-faithful, perhaps this conversation will jog all of us in trying to search for the right answers. Once, 2 good friends, one who believed in God and the other who did not believe in God at all. While they were walking, the guy who did not believe in God nudged his friend who believed in God and said, "Excuse me, can you tell me how long have we had God on this earth?" Maybe 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 years? And how long have we had religion on this earth? Please don't take me wrong, because all of us are religious leaders. So the question that was asked, that how long have we had religion on this earth? The spiritual man explained, since time immemorial. Long before time, God and religion have been with us. So that's when the non-religious man asked that if God and religion have been on this earth for so long, why are there still wars? Why is there hate? Why Are there crimes? And why is there disharmony? The poor religious man could not speak at all. And as they walked, the non-religious guy said, then what use is God and religion on this earth? As they walked and they turned into an alley, in that alley at the end of the street, there were a few children who were playing in a puddle of mud. And as they had been playing and playing, their entire bodies were covered with mud. They were dirty. That's when the spiritual man, the faithful, the religious, the theist, he turned to the non-believer and he said, excuse me, how long have we had soap on this earth? The man turned to me and said, what do you mean? He said, soap has been invented by Babylonians almost 5,000 years ago. If we've had soap on this earth for 5,000 years, why are these children dirty? And that guy said, but they have not used it. He said, exactly, people don't use religion and spirituality. Most of the time, we of smaller minds, we abuse in the name of spirituality, in the name of religion. Conflicts are created which are unnecessary. Emotions are flared up. And we believe that if spirituality is used in the right way, with all these religious leaders on this stage will be able to vouchsafe for. If spirituality and religion is used in the right way, put into practice, applied, then of course peace can be restored and global harmony is not a dream. And I want to tell you what a religious person or a leader can do the moment he takes a spiritual view to the things before him. I have personally witnessed this, so please excuse me if I get a little emotional. It was a time in Gujarat where cultural disharmony, communal disharmony was ripe in the atmosphere. The year 2002. A smallest word, a wrong statement could create a conflagration of violence. But in that time, 24th September 2002, Swaminarayan Akshardham was attacked by 2 terrorists. I was present there whole night. There was so much gunfire. Even a movie would feel overkill. 33 people died. In Akshardham, where you don't even get a spit of pan, it's so clean, it was full of blood. One sadhu died in my own lap. We have never announced it, but now it's too distant, it's okay. One sadhu died in my lap. I still sometimes hear his voice. At that time, when almost 75% of India stood still in support of Akshardham, when so many experts were predicting a backlash, and there were stray voices of revenge and also justice in the name of justice, His Holiness Pramukh Swami Maharaj, he took a high spiritual stand. He said that this cycle of violence must end and it should begin with us. He gave a public appeal for peace. That is fine. But he personally told all his devotees, including me, he phoned me and he told me, ke mathe barafni paat rakje. Keep a block of ice on your head. One wrong tear from your eyes will lose more innocent lives. Our job is to sustain and maintain peace and not to seek justice at this time. He taught me that peace is higher than justice. Go back home. If you are having fights with your own brothers, if you are having fights with your own relatives, remember peace is higher than justice. Yes, something unjust has been done. Tolerate. Move ahead. And I also want to tell you, because of this response, Gujarat remained calm. And internationally, in any anti-terrorist conferences, a new word has been coined, the Akshardham response, how a spiritual leader can sustain calm and create peace even in times of turmoil. It is the duty of ours that spirituality can create peace in society. Religious leaders are greatly influential, but with great influence comes great responsibility. And why, you would ask me, am I saying this? Because India, Indian civilization, and I don't want to repeat anything former speakers have said, but India and Indian civilization is primarily based on spirituality. Our civilization has taught us, of course, we should celebrate our similarities, but it has taught us something different. Respect the dissimilarities, appreciate the dissimilarities, and also celebrate our dissimilarities. It is not just looking for similar things. If God wanted uniformity on this earth, let's forget this dream of having just one religion on this earth. It is not possible and it is not appropriate. If God wanted just uniformity, there would be just one flower with one color. But because there are millions of flowers with billions of colors, God loves diversity. If God wanted uniformity, there would be just one fruit with one taste. But He believes in diversity. That's why there are hundreds of thousands of fruits with hundreds of thousands of tastes. And if God created man in His own image, there would be just one face on this earth. But because there are 7 billion faces on this earth with 7 billion ideals, 7 billion mindsets, God loves diversity, and that is what India as a nation is celebrating. India is the birthplace of 4 major religions and the home to all religions of the world. And that is why if you look at the Vedas, one shlok which is never or hardly you hear is Yatra Vishwam Bhavati Ekanidam. It says that we may be birds of different feathers with different flights, but we live in the same nest. India never asks you to change your feathers or change your flights. Just call India your home. That's the most important fact that our country has taught us. So today, rather than leaving any more messages, I just want to leave you with 3 words. Please take them home and share it with everybody. His Holiness Pramukh Swami Maharaj often said that the dialogue we have on the stage, all religious leaders should have the same dialogue with their followers. Most of the time, what is said on the stage is never heard amongst the followers. And the dialogue we have on the stage and the dialogue we have with our followers should be the same dialogue in our own hearts. I believe this, having a similar dialogue, will create more responsibility. His Holiness Mahant Swami Maharaj often says that when it comes down to unity or harmony, it is not what the world should do, and it is not what we should do. It is what I should do. It is a personal sacrifice that you and me have to make. And these 3 words will summarize the personal sacrifices that all of us have to make. The first word is love, so common. And I believe nobody can better explain love than His Holiness Sri Ravi Shankar Ji. Because he once told me that love is like a flower. It does not choose that I will only give fragrance to this person and that person or this person. Even if you crush a flower, it still leaves you with fragrance. That is love. So love is giving a part of yourself for what we can do for harmony. So let me tell you, every culture, every religious leader, every country and community values the word love. But till now, the word love is a beautiful noun. May this conference turn that noun into a verb. Love only exists in action. In our expressions, in our feelings, how far you are ready to go to reach out to somebody. And in the way we give and forgive. Let me leave you with an example which is important. That of course, as a religious person, I still visit different places of different religious sites. But one thing that really stunned me about Pramukh Swami, in 1999, we had gone to Israel. He asked that let us go to the Wailing Wall, the precious place of the Jews. We all went. I went as a tourist. I wanted to know, so I read everything up. I'm a sadhu. Still, I wanted to know about the culture. But when Pramukh Swami went there, he saw so many Jewish people kneeling and inserting folded papers in the cracks and the crevices of the wall. So he inquired, what are they doing? And somebody said, Swamiji, they are writing their prayers and then folding them into this piece of paper and then putting it in the crevice of the Wailing Wall so God would hear those prayers. Very gently, Pramukh Swami picked. I was shocked, I'm telling you honestly. He picked a yellow flower and silently he put it in the crevice of the Wailing Wall. Then after some time, he picked another yellow flower and put it in another crevice. In the afternoon, I could not resist and I said, Swami, of course it was some Hindu place, maybe you would have prayed, but what prayers did you do? Do you know what he told me? That the first flower I placed, I prayed to God that may all the prayers which have been said here, may they be answered. So then I asked him that what was the second flower for? He said, may all the prayers that will be said henceforth, may they be fulfilled. He completely changed my attitude to a religious place of another religion. It has to be not just respected, it has to be adored, and it has to be prayed before. That will generate so much harmony when you reach out to people. Love should not be just limited to our own followers. They should reach out. And one of the greatest friendship that I would like to quote, because I'm a witness, take two people of different religions, of different education. Remember, even before when I speak to you, everything divides on this earth. Country divides. Language divides, words divide, our food divides, our clothing divides, even our beliefs, opinions, and philosophy divides. But amongst this division, we have to mature ourselves and transcend these divisions and unite. That is humanity. A friendship which I would like to mention very quickly, that Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam was hailing from Islam. His Holiness Pramukh Swami Maharaj was a spiritual leader of the Hindu Dharma. Kalam did not understand a word of Gujarati and Pramukh Swami could not speak a word of English. Kalam had PhDs from 46 universities. Pramukh Swami had hardly cleared the 7th standard in Gujarati. Kalam was constitutionally the President of India. And as sadhus, I don't think we have a position in the Constitution of India. Gadkariji, no problem, we don't need a position. But constitutionally, we do not have a position. Kalam was the inventor of the missiles. Pramukh Swami had invented nothing. And yet, they became the best of friends when Kalam said, my ultimate teacher was His Holiness Pramukh Swami Maharaj. Two religions can get together if you transcend the differences that divide us. So first, the word love. Sacrifice your little self to reach out and love others. The second word is laws, L-A-W-S. I think we need laws to help us spiritual people to spread harmony. I have just come from the UAE. They have not just given us a place to make a temple, but to safeguard everything in 2015, they created an anti-hate, anti-discriminatory law. If anybody, mark my words, if anybody Does a message, a WhatsApp, a simple email that denigrates, defiles, ridicules, mocks any religion, religious places, or religious person, they would be jailed, fined, or in extreme cases, banished from the country if they can do that to create more harmony. Surely, in a simpler way, on a more gentle way, we are a civilized society. Let us create our own laws and disciplines that will generate harmony if we think that is the need of the hour. So that is the second word, please remain. Create laws for your own self that I will not do it. You don't need the government to create a law. Love, create laws for yourself to actually desist and discourage disharmony. And the third word that I would leave you with is life. Nothing is more valuable than life. We personally believe that Indian culture has shown us the way to respect life as a whole, not just human life, but animals. Not just animals, but even the vegetation. Environment itself is life for us. Let us reach out and create a lifestyle that does not damage anybody, either through our word, thought, or deed. When we generate that ideology, where life is celebrated, I believe love, laws, and life, above all, is the sanctity of life. If as spiritual people, if as even non-spiritual people, if we love life, let us protect it. I believe all these environmental conferences which are done, they always say, protect environment, protect environment, protect environment. But from whom? From us. We sit in conferences and say, protect environment from us. Let us create a lifestyle which generates harmony. Lastly, I wanted to also tell you that most importantly, when you walk out of this conference, you will still hear that harmony is just a dream. People will still say, कि ये सब spiritual leaders ने बात बताई, मगर harmony is an utopian idea. But I also want to tell you that so was landing on the moon once just a dream, but we landed. So is colonizing Mars just a dream, but it will happen. So was space tourism just a dream, but it has happened. And I want to tell you, what's wrong in believing in a dream? If we stop believing in dreams, we will stop living. As a proof of dreams being fulfilled, I'll leave you with the last idea, which is so close to my heart, which has been blessed by His Holiness Sri Ravi Shankar Ji and so many of you, that for 100 or more years, a mandir in Abu Dhabi was just a dream. And I want to tell you, when we began, more than 1,000 people told us that it can't be done. Not you, you encouraged me. More than 1,000 people said that it cannot be done. But once again, I want to tell you that that dream has been possible through the spiritual prayers of His Holiness Pramukh Swami Maharaj, who had said that there will be a temple in Abu Dhabi. Through the great effort of our Honorable Prime Minister, Sri Narendra Bhai Modi, he has a will and he has a way. And because of his will and his way, and through the generosity of His Highness, the Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi, Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, who had the heart to give not just 2.5, not just 5 acres, then 13.5 acres for the first traditional stone Hindu mandir in the history of civilization. But it did not end there. They also gave 13.5 more acres of land for parking because Hindus from across the world will be coming there. So that was another thing that they've given. And on that note, imagine how the dream is being fulfilled. Imagine a Muslim king donating land to a Hindu temple where our lead architect is a Christian Catholic, where our structure designer is Mr. Kong, a Buddhist, where our project manager is a Sikh, Sardarji Jaspir Singh, where our contractors are Parsis, Shapurji Palanji, and where our chairman comes from a Jain family, Ashok Koteja. What beautiful harmony in a way a temple can be done. Dreams can be fulfilled. And I request all the great sadhus and people on this stage, please bless us, continue us in your prayers, and all of you, we also invite you in the league. Whenever you come to Dubai, please fulfill my dream that all of you can visit it once. Thank you very much.